Hello again, and welcome back to Who Ordered the Pie, the podcast where music history, the stories behind the songs, and a little something in your glass all come together. I'm Christopher, and over the last few days it's been raining here on and off, and it got me thinking about this episode. Have you ever watched the rain outside the window and immediately thought of a specific song about rain? Not because you went looking for it, but because the rain itself brought it to mind. That reaction isn't accidental. Some songs arrive so tied to a moment, a sound, or a setting that the environment alone is enough to trigger them. And that's what this episode's about. These aren't just songs about rain. These are records shaped by timing, careers, studios, and circumstances. And on a night like this, they just happen to sound especially right while it's falling. Rhythm of the Rain by the Cascades was released in 1962. The Cascades weren't industry insiders, they weren't session regulars. They were Navy servicemen stationed together in San Diego, recording whenever they could.
Listen to the rhythm of the falling rain, telling me just what a fool I've been.
They cut the song at Gold Star Studios in Los Angeles, the same room where Phil Spector was building his wall of sound.
And let me be alone again.
The song climbed to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became one of the defining pop singles of the early 1960s. What you hear is youth without irony. It's earnest and direct.
For her to steal my heart away when she don't care. I can't love another when my...
It's a breakup song that doesn't over-explain itself. It's just a feeling that arrives suddenly and spreads everywhere.
Rain, won't you tell her that I love her so? Please ask the sun to set her heart aglow.
That heartbreak is right there in the lyric, but the harmonies somehow soften the blow, and that contrast is why the song works so well.
Oh, listen to the falling rain. Pitter patter, pitter patter. Oh,
And more than 20 years later, Dan Fogelberg returned the Rhythm of the Rain. Not to update it, not to modernize it, just to sit with it.
listen to the rhythm of the falling rain, telling me just what a fool I've been.
By the time he recorded this version, Fogelberg wasn't a rising songwriter anymore. He was reflecting on a career already behind him. His version was slower, softer, and more conversational.
All I've ever loved is gone away. Looking for a brand new start.
Where the Cascades felt heartbroken in the moment, Fogelberg sounds like somebody remembering it. This isn't the rain falling outside a window, it's rain remembered from a different room in a different stage of life.
I can't love another when my heart's somewhere far away.
And that changes the job of the song. It's no longer trying to explain how the heartbreak feels, it's responding to what the heartbreak already did. It's a subtle shift, but it's an important one.
Girl I've ever loved is gone away. Looking for a brand new start.
That shift changes what music is trying to do, and that's the perfect place for the Beatles to come in. Rain was recorded in 1966 during one of the most experimental periods of their career.
If the rain comes, they run and hide their heads.
It was released as the B-side to Paperback Writer, yet it never behaved like a B-side at all.
The rain comes. If the rain comes.
John Lennon wrote it while pushing back against expectations about happiness, about mood, and about how you're supposed to feel.
Sunshine, sit there and Monday in the sunshine, the sunshine.
He was never interested in pretending to sound happier than he was, and that resistance shapes the intent and the sound of the record. The backward vocals appearing for the first time Beatles song weren't a novelty. They were intentional, designed to unsettle the listener. And you hear it right away at the very first line. At the very end of the word comes, it doesn't trail off forward, it pulls inward instead. And you hear it again at the end of each verse, especially on Dead, when the word dissolves rather than lands.
They might as well be dead if the rain comes.
Lennon heard his own vocal being played backwards during playback, and he liked how disorienting it felt, and he asked to build that sound into the record. George Martin and the engineers made it happen deliberately, reversing the tape and physically fitting the vocal into the final mix. It wasn't done to show off or be clever in the studio. It was there to subtly destabilize the song and make it feel slightly off, and even when the groove stays steady. And then there's Ringo Starr's drumming, heavy and deliberate, one of his strongest recorded performances. And Paul McCartney's bass is thick and insistent, locking the song in place and giving it weight. This isn't rain you're sad about. It's rain you accept, the kind you stop trying to escape and simply let it happen. After that, rain stops being the subject and becomes the setting. Rainy Night in Georgia was written by Tony Joe White, a songwriter known for his quiet observational songs, where the environment does the emotional work, and was recorded by Brook Benton in 1970.
Hovering by my suitcase, trying to find a warm place to spend the night.
At the time, Benton's career had slowed. His biggest hits were already behind him. Then this record arrived and went straight to number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Seems I hear your voice calling, it's alright.
Benton doesn't sing this song like a performance. He delivers it like somebody taking himself on a long walk home.
A rainy night in Georgia. A rainy night in Georgia.
The rain is symbolic, but it never reaches for grand metaphor. When he sings it's raining all over the world, his problem doesn't seem bigger. It feels smaller inside, just another person moving through it alone.
It seems like it's raining all over the world. I feel
Streetlights, wet pavement, movement without destination.
neon signs are flashing, taxi cabs and buses passing through the night.
There's no reach for drama here, no big emotional turn, just atmosphere and a voice moving through it.
Rainy night in Georgia. Lord, I believe it's raining all over the world.
Sometimes the right song finds an artist exactly when they need it.
Raining, 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 raining over the world.
Raining in My Heart by Buddy Holly comes from the final stretch of his career. By this point, Holly was already moving away from the sound that made him famous.
The sun is out, the sky is blue, there's not a cloud to spoil the view, but
The song was written by Feliz and Boodle O'Brien, the team behind Wake Up Little Susie and All I Have to Do Is Dream. But this doesn't sound like an Everly Brothers record.
it's raining, raining in my heart.
The tempo is slower, and the strings are restrained. Buddy's voice feels smaller than usual, careful, almost guarded.
The weatherman says clear today, he doesn't know you've gone.
And knowing what comes next in the Buddy Holly story, the song carries extra weight. It was recorded just weeks before the day the music died.
Oh, misery, misery.
Not because this song predicts anything, but because it captures a quiet moment before everything stopped.
I tell my blues they mustn't show, but soon these tears are bound to flow, 'cause it's raining.
I Wish It Would Rain by Marvin Gaye carries real historical weight. The lyrics were written by Roger Penzabene during the collapse of his marriage. He poured everything he had into them. But first, the record surprises you. It arrives with far more power than the title prepares you for.
Sunshine, blue sky, please go away. My girl has found another
The arrangement moves forward with confidence, even while the lyrics pull you inward.
day after day. I stay locked up in my room. I know to you, oh, it might sound strange,
Marvin Gaye doesn't oversing this, but he definitely doesn't hold back.
but I wish it would rain.
At a time when Motown often emphasized polish, this record hits hard, and Marvin Gaye leans into that force without losing control. And this time it's a powerful Rain, but Marvin Gaye never lets it spill over. The performance stays directed, focused, even when the story behind it isn't. And that control is what makes this record last. But unfortunately, shortly after the song's release, Roger Pensby took his own life. In hindsight, the lyrics read less like performance and more like a cry for help that never found its answer.
I'm a man and I got my pride, but till it rains, gonna stay inside.
Rainy Days and Mondays was released in 1971 at the height of the Carpenters' success.
Talking to myself and feeling old.
Man, such an amazing voice. Anyway, at this point, Karen and Richard Carpenter were a proven radio force, and this song was written by Paul Williams, one of my favorites, and Roger Nichols, and it climbed to the number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Hanging around, nothing to do but frown.
What really makes this record work is Karen Carpenter herself. She sings through the melody, never above it.
Rainy days and Mondays always get me down.
Her voice is warm, centered, and precise. Every note is placed, every breath intentional.
What I've got they used to call the blues. Nothing is really wrong.
There's no reach for drama, and there's no emotional overstatement.
Walking around some kind of lonely cloud. Rainy days,
At a time when pop music was getting louder, this song succeeded at staying controlled.
rainy days and Mondays always get me down.
The arrangement never swells to force a reaction. It trusts the melody and the voice to carry the weight.
Funny, but it seems I always wind up here with you.
It wasn't Rain in crisis. It wasn't Rain making a point. It was Rain falling softly. It was Rain as routine.
Mondays always get me down.
In the early morning rain, with $1 in my hand.
Early Morning Rain was written by Gordon Lightfoot in 1964. He wrote it while standing in an airport watching airplanes depart.
Out on the runaway number 9, big 707 set to go.
What's notable is that his recording wasn't the version that first made the song famous. Peter, Paul, and Mary recorded it. So did Ian and Sylvia. Later, Elvis Presley would too.
Now the liquor tasted good, and the women all were fast.
And that kind of cross-genre adoption is how you know a song has real structural strength.
Hear the mighty engines roar, see the silver ring on high.
By the time Lightfoot released his version in 1966, the song had already taken on a life of its own.
The morning rain don't fall, and the sun always shines.
And there's no resolution here, it's just observation. It's a songwriter watching night turn into morning from an airport window as planes lift off without him, accepting the movement is happening elsewhere.
So I best be on my way in the early morning rain.
Now before we go, let's finish with a drink for this episode. Tonight's music almost demanded a dark and stormy, right? But we took it a different direction. We started with the dark and stormy, and then we slowed it down, added more ginger warmth and less snap. That's why we call it the Quiet Storm. You start with a Collins glass filled with ice, add 2 ounces of dark rum. I like Plantation Original Dark Rum here. 3/4 of an ounce of fresh lime juice and 1/2 an ounce of ginger syrup. Give that a gentle stir, enough to bring it all together, and then top it off with ginger beer. Finish it with 2 dashes of Angostura bitters floating right on top. That ginger syrup might sound familiar. That's because we used the same one for the Fitz's flare gun in the last episode, and that recipe is waiting for you on the website of whoorderedpie.com. This isn't a loud drink. It isn't rushed. It's meant to be sipped slowly while the rain finishes outside and the music keeps playing. You know, what really struck me about putting this episode together is when these songs showed up. Some arrived at the beginning of the career before expectations had fully formed. Others came later after success, after the noise, when artists had learned to sit with themselves. The rain seems to meet them wherever they are. Well, thanks for hanging out with me on this rainy night, and until next time, here's the loud riffs, quiet sips, and the stories in between.